So, welcome back, students. So, this could be your third session on SPM. Just to revise with the previous sessions. So, we have mapped Unit 1 and Unit 2, and we have discussed about process models and software process models. What is the difference between them? Types of SDLC models, starting from waterfall to till the level of agile programming that we have seen. So, that is the complete discussion happened during the last two sessions. So to give a summary through the presentation, here I have incorporated how to define your life cycle model. So that will give you the various idea. Moreover, I have introduced this slide. I have taken the slide and bringing back to you. The idea here is how to incorporate a life cycle model for your final year project work. That's mandatory. Okay, that will give you some interesting stuff while you are going to close the project. Okay, that's what some the terms that whatever that you are going to be familiar with is deliverables. Okay, because we won't consider deliverables during the time of the corresponding orientation, because from requirements to deliverables we have to travel. Requirements are being received from customers or clients. It is being after completing the feasibility study, the technical team will come to a conclusion that these requirements can be done. Practically, I could be able to implement it in customer base. Once they have given the assurity, then people will march on the complete life cycle. So, by keeping those things in the mind, that I could be able to define my life cycle. This is the major point. So, I should be familiar with all models. Why or which type of project, which model has to be followed. Okay, so that's the reason why first point will ready to narrate and work on that. So I have to go for a review and analyze the type of work. Again, I am penetrating with the type of project. Okay, what type of development that I could be able to do, and what are all additional features. If I'm having already a scratch means, what are all additional features that I could be able to enhance with it. So how to go for keeping the project if it is an upgraded version? How to go with the complete maintenance whenever the bugs are ready to report, some unknown bugs or unreported bugs are being identified. So how my system need to behave in that place also my life cycle model will play a vital role. So I have to come across my project criteria, nothing but constraints. All the constraints are there. So that should be reviewed, and I have to identify the phases of development as well as not only for development in SDLC from analysis to requirements gathering to till documentation till maintenance that we are having the phases. So what are all the activities that I'm going to do in each and individual phase? Okay. For every process, I must have a input could be a requirement, output would be a deliverable. That's what. So for each and every phase, how many requirements that you are going to keep, how many deliverables are going to come. So you have to decide that. Okay. So and you have to give the design for the deliverable. So how the deliverable that you are expecting. That's a major thing. That's what the term they are using the term template. So the complete guidance should be derived from the requirements given by the clients or customers. That's a major idea. So iteratively, I have to go for evaluation on the received deliverables. That's what we'll be doing: verification and validation. Okay, are we building the products right? Are the products built right? So that's a major comparison to be happening between verification and validation. Whenever I'm going to go for evaluation, please remember that. That's a major thing that I'm concentrating on. This is the requirement given by the client. This is the deliverable that we have developed. It should be completely synchronized. It should not give a different idea, right? So, or even a minor change will affect your billing. That's the major concern that we are talking about. And implement improvements. So, future enhancements, right? Further upgrades. So you have to give a lead for those things while on creating your deliverable. Right? It could be like a plugin. Nowadays, I have developed my reservation system only for bus. Later, I might be interested to travel to my home through my bus ticket itself. So in there itself, I could able to get a booking of an auto or a taxi to reach my home. Okay, but my payment should be completed in the while I'm going to book the bus ticket itself. So this taxi plugin should be a separate vendor. This is a government transportation. Okay. This is government bus booking. Taxi booking is a private vendor. So I need to give the reservation of taxi in the reservation of bus environment. So the plugin should be there if I'm going for modification. So it should not disturb the existing reservation system when I'm going to insert the taxi plugin, taxi reservation plugin or taxi booking plugin, whatever it may be. So likewise, your life cycle model should be neat and clean. That's what uh, we are expecting the usage of life cycle model in your project work. So that's the idea. And next, so there would be a terminology to be variations would be there. Okay, because in your syllabus first unit that we have a topic called project portfolio management. There are what do you call a, a stakeholder level or a understanding level of each and every stakeholder pertaining to project management and project portfolio management must be determined. Okay, so that's the place. So, with respect to project management, in order to meet the requirements of the project, do I have the application of knowledge, the corresponding skills, tools, techniques, etc. Okay, that would be the direct environment. Okay, while I'm coming for my portfolio means selection and behavior. Actually, the terminology we'll talk about selection and behavior or attributes also. Likewise, I could be able to mention. So, with respect to the project activities, what I have planned in the project management, do I have the corresponding investment strategy? For example, I have chosen some set of models which are available in my company. Plus, I am going to purchase some third-party plugins to make the software to be complete. So, in those cases, whether do I have the investment strategy to meet these requirements? So likewise, I have to differentiate and discuss. So here, most probably the stakeholders, direct stakeholders will be identified. Business owners, who is the client, so business owners, that sponsors who are developing, as well as the end users. But while I am coming for the stakeholders here, completely they are working with who are all the investment people working with. Very basic, very specifically, the general term is financial management. Right? They are mentioning stockholders. Right? Stockholders represents the corresponding people who are having share in the company. Stockholders. So that's a point to be noted. So what they will do? What's the role of stakeholder in the project management actually? So they will supply the requirements, uh, controlling the cost and schedule. They might be right, but that would depend on project portfolio only. Okay, so what are all the resources need to be supplied for the project that would be designed in the project portfolio management, as well as they would be very clear on ROI, return on investment, what I am investing, what I will receive. That should be decided upon your project portfolio management only, as well as whenever they need any strategies to be changed, that would be agreed upon stakeholders in the financial management only, right? So that this is the thin line which is between project management and the project portfolio management. So you should be in a position to differentiate these two things. Right. So what are all the processes involved in project management? What are all the processes involved in project portfolio management? So very clearly that we are initiating, planning, executing, closing, monitoring, controlling. All these terms are purely related to project, right? Project. But the portfolio will talk about the infrastructure, resources. Infrastructure represents the development environment or deployment environment. Resources represents the software, hardware, humans who are involving in this, right? The team leader, team member, right? As well as if any requirements has to be completed somewhat bit earlier, they are in the launch of their alpha version. So how to prioritize them? Suppose a person have left the job during the important time of the client meeting or during the complete of a particular important module, what would be the backup that company has to do? What would be the backup that team has to do? So such type of balancing and how the task is going on, right? How the stages of tasks are going on. That should be reported back to the officials. That should be done through performance reporting. Right? So for each and every action, we need a concurrency. Right? Might be you won't believe that for creating and fixing a button. Recently, I heard from one of my alumni, one of my old student, for replacing a button in their software. Right, so they are upgrading. They want to change the button. So banking insurance section, they have a conflict outcome. If I'm going to change this button, the customer or the stockholder would be very difficult to identify the place as well as the size. So he or she will come and search. The button size was something like that previous. Nowadays it was being like this, or color of the button was like this. So likewise, they can't able to identify it. They have an issue something they are ready to portray from PPM, right? Project Portfolio Management. They're telling that if you are going to change this like this, customers will suffer. Likewise, they are posting an issue from Project Portfolio Management. Okay, from project management side, they are ready to agree with their corresponding issue and they are giving a solution. Right? So, in those cases, when they want to replace a button, project management from the section, when they want to replace a button, project portfolio management people have to give authorization. Without their authorization, you cannot be able to replace anything under existing system that what you have already launched. Right? If at all it is necessary only, they will give authorization to change. Otherwise, they won't. So that's the another what do you call an important role of project portfolio management. Right. So the complete administrative activities would be done over on this PPM. Complete technical activities will be happening over on the PM. Right. That's the difference between again PM and PPM. So these are all the components of portfolio management maturity components. Portfolio management maturity. So portfolio governance, project opportunity assessment, prioritization and selection, portfolio and communications, portfolio performance, portfolio resource management. Governance is nothing but the order of hierarchy. Overall will be controlling. See, I have set an example for button, right? So for that, there are 10 people have to agree for that. They are in different levels. They are having communication with some different type of environment. Right? So someone would be connected with the administration, Someone would be connected with the technical environment, someone would be directly connected with the customer, right? Someone would be analyzing the competitive marketing environment. So likewise, uh, such type of people will be there in the governance. Okay, so whenever I'm going to introduce a new requirement or any fresh constraint, so that will be assessed from the assessment team. Prioritization and selection, that's what any requirement has to be done earlier, that should be identified, then we have to give priority. Communication management, so ultimately see nowadays communication management doesn't matter at all, because everything got automated. Example is Slack, Microsoft Slack, so you can use for that. Performance management, Slack will help us to track how was your performance, how was the teams are working, but they could able to track it very easily. Resource management, right? So managing people as well as software resources, that could be done directly over on the platform. So how about portfolio management would be there in the environment? So these are some advanced topics, but you can try over on this. See, this administrative level contents are something interesting, or the technical tasks are going as planned, so that you could be able to measure when you are going to be a boss. These things are mandatory. So roadmap is very very important for anything, any project or any tasks that you are going to carry out. You should not what do you call differentiate, or you should not get to move away from it. So that would be the interesting case. So they have a case study also here, and they are publishing their results. That how about the project portfolio management has been can be carried out. Okay, can be carried out. Let us see. Let us check out how it was. So they are telling about high-level survey will take about only few minutes to complete, but the impact of their result is something. It may change the trend. Okay, it may change. For example, I am in a position to change a person from one team to other team. Is a very good resource. Or the respective company Y is using that software and a third party vendor plugin, and they are making some huge revenue in those places. Shall I use it? Right? That questions. These types of things are something uh, the place of decision making would be involved over there. So I think you have learned about this in your software engineering, right? Maturity management model. Maturity management model. Right? So what are about the levels that they have kept? So it would be a process, a beginning process, or it is a structured process, or institutionalized process. It's managed or optimized. Which level of CMMI, right, maturity model that my portfolio management would be there, right? It is completely talking about the administrative section of your technical environment. Okay, so they're getting these values. These values are something to be remembered, right? So if the value is going to be given us less than 12, you are in the level 1, right? So probably startups will take time to reach level 5. Okay, but the branded MNCs already who are in the market are pioneers in the market for last 20 years or 30 years. Surely they will be in the level of 4 to 5. So that would be the stage. Who are in the midst? that they have gone a very good um, quarter results, financial quarter results. They would be in 2 or 3, right? So when processes are being accumulated or streamlined automatically, you could able to reach very good levels in these CMMI levels. So each level of capability, then across industries they did a survey. So that survey is giving that that you could able to see most of the companies are falling on the line level 3, 25% only, that major category that could be able to. Still, people are fighting for coming for level 3, right? So they have given level 5 2%. Only the top brand MNCs would be there. That would be the survey result that they are focusing here. So they are giving idea. If I want to move to the next level in the CMMI, what I have to do? I have to follow the process very strictly. Even nowadays, even I think you could be able to see that our institution is NAC accredited. But the reason here is that is completely the administrative section of all the departments, college, etc. Everything. So that's the reason why we got A. Still, we are in improving that. Okay? So processes are very clear. See, if they want to recruit a faculty, what is the process? Till from recruitment till he is being going to be sitting in his chair. What is the process? What is the process for student enrollment in your course? Starting from his application, still he is getting into his class. What is the process? Okay. Examination management. There also we are having a process. Starting from framing a circular for examination, still they are displaying the marks, or still they are getting their certificates. What is the process? So processes are very, very important that you have to take. Second one is the PPM tool, that what you are going to consider. Portfolio management tool. That's what I have given an example, right? Slack. So likewise, so many tools are there. Among that, tools are nowadays integrated with the SDLC models. So that type of tool we are advised to choose with. I am telling about Slack means because I was very very familiar with the agile model. That is the reason why I have conveyed about to Slack. But you have some softwares are available there. You could be able to express and work with the old type of models also. That is also available. And other agile based model from the product from the bench of TCS is going to be Jira. So that's also that you can practice for agile programming, because nowadays market is based on agile programming. I suggest the students that you could be able to work with the agile programming environment, right? That's the interesting cage on this. And second section, so we have to work with the vision and mission. That's what short term and long term goals we are talking about that. And one more thing that it's a very important thing. The person who is overseeing all portfolio management has to be replaced now and then. That's what reassessing whether that person is compromised, or whether the person is doing thing on a straightforward fashion. That's what reassessing the role, right? Reassessing the role. You have to change it, or rotation wise you have to give. Then only the assessment process would be very clean. That's what in year 2003 they have listed these challenges. In the 2013 that they have come across these things, but now the year is 2021, right? Whatever that you are seeing in the slide, that would be absolute now, right? So everything is now available on the panel of the team member. Means the software panel of the team member that they could be able to access. There won't be that won't be anything hidden from the team member to the PPM official. Challenges have been resolved. What trends are we seeing to address top challenges? So might be some of the challenges would be still on board, right? So training, help from outside, technology integration is always a tough task, because it will change from nowadays. Initially, it was changed from decade to decade. Next, later 5 years, next to 3 years, next to 2 years. Now it was changing for every 3 months. People are going for upgrade. So technology upgrade would be there. So if I'm going to upgrade the technology, means I need people have to be trained on the particular technology, right? Training is mandatory. So whether I'm outsourcing or not, that's what the term help from outside. Most of the major MNCs are in the process of outsourcing audits because they won't concentrate on some small and miniature modules, right? They will be working group of people, group of team of 350 members or 250 members will be working on a very big and bulk modules related to a project. Okay, so such a type of things are to be outsourced. The miniature models would be outsourced for smaller, the next level companies recognized by the branded MNCs. So from that, they will go for integrating their billing will be separate. So how we are going to engage, doing the right things. See again, they are using the term verification and validation here. Okay, verification, validation. That's what doing the right things, doing things right. So first one is nothing but your validation. Next one is nothing but your verification. That's all. Doing the right things, doing things right. So that's the thing that where you can able to improve their engagement and efficiency. So I think this would be completely focusing on the hierarchy that what we have to follow during our governance. I have to appoint people to manage these things. So are we moving with the educational, or are we moving with the goals? Right? If you visit our premises, I think even if you check your website that RIT have a vision and mission. Are it was being aligned properly or not with our goals? Are we traveling in the right direction? Right. So what about the investment and what are all the trade-offs that we are facing? Okay. So how we are measuring the business value of our environment, our product outcomes. Okay. So, what would be the role of top management in portfolio execution, right? Officials, how they are interacting directly. So, what would be, say, for example, in this meeting, whether the person from management is necessary or not. So, we could able to decide through that PPM. So, how the communication is happening between the partners and the stakeholders. So, that's also a role of PPM. So, how to operate with the corresponding requirements and the governance environment, right? Whether they're based upon the guidelines given by that governance team, whether people are working on it, that I could able to assess. So across, I could able to measure projects, people, applications, the resources, whatever I'm having, what was the actual requirement, and what are all the services that we are providing. Everything that could be governed through these type of portfolio management in a easier fashion. Okay, so become the center of excellence means that if I'm going to follow the processes very strictly, that I could be able to run with it uh, center of excellence. Okay, so nothing but that. What is the process that I'm following? What is the methodology that I have to use? What are all the tools that I am practicing to use? PM and PPM versioning control. I'm going for some type of software. Microsoft Visual Source Safe. It was easily integrated with my Microsoft Slack. That's what PM and PPM tools repository. That they are being linked with that. Moreover, from the same company. So the integration part won't be much more different, right? So PM and PPM can be monitored through single dashboard. So that's also a very friendly help desk that we can provide. So what are the training strategy that we can plan and adapt for the forthcoming projects, right? So for everything, right? For everything, you must have a roadmap and plan. You should not deviate. If any new entries are going to come, you must have a strategy, right? Plan A fails, what is plan B, right? So likewise, you should be completely merged upon. Okay, so that's the idea.